kitchen now with Joe from the Forgotten Fire Winery up in Peshtigo. Brought along one of their wonderful fall wines, and we're going to do some cooking with it. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again.
You bet. It shows all about our favorites, and Forgotten Fire Winery, we love their wine, one of the wine sponsors on the show. And, you know, I get questions all the time, Joe, about why do you cook with wine? Why do you think you cook with wine?
It's delicious.
You know, and that's what I say, yeah.
Well, they go hand in hand. One accents the other. It's almost like another side or just something to complement the dish itself. And you've always heard about wine pairings and how certain wines go with certain foods, and there's a reason for it. They're fantastic together, and it's just a nice way to round out your whole dish.
Yep, I agree. Totally.
Plan.
You know, adds a lot of flavor to a dish, a depth of flavor. You know, all the restaurant chefs do it. And the other thing is it adds great flavor without fat, too. And the alcohol cooks out, so exactly. In most cases. So, all right, so we're doing a fall pork dish with, this is a wonderful fall wine, great for drinking and cooking. So you can open up a bottle, drink it, and throw a splash of it into your cooking, too. A wicked apple wine. Tell us about the wine.
Well, it starts off as a cider, and it comes from Sequest Orchard up in Sister Bay. So it's a brown, gritty cider. And then we sweeten it up a little bit to bring the alcohol content up during fermentation. But we do a French style of fermentation where we use a French champagne yeast to bring out the crispness and the real vibrancy of the apples. We ferment it to about 11% alcohol, so a little stronger than a cider. And then over time, we let all that cider work its way down. We filter it off, and then we have a beautiful, crisp white wine. And then we mull it with some cinnamon and cloves over the course of the rest of the year, and then it's ready just in time for fall. And just one of my favorite wines to make. It's made with a lot of love because it comes from the grower I know. They do everything right there at the site, and then it comes to us where we take care of it from there. And I just love this wine.
I like the name too, Wicked Apple, perfect for Halloween. And the nice thing is you can drink it cold, but you can also warm it. So
one of my little favorite things to do is just put a cup in a coffee mug, heat it up in the microwave for 20 seconds, hit it with some Ready Whip, and it gets kind of creamy.
Oh, by the fire with a good book? That sounds amazing. Okay, so this is a pork tenderloin dish. Here's another thing I get questions about all the time. How do you keep pork from being dried out? Marinade, marinade, marinade,
Yes,
and don't overcook it. So quick marinade using the wine.
Yep, exactly. We're going to start with a little bit of brown sugar.
Okay.
Light brown sugar, about 1 cup. You don't want to pack it down because we need it to fluff up a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to use about a tablespoon of Worcestershire.
Okay. And this is stuff that we all have on hand, except for the wine, so it's easy.
Yeah, you should have the wine on hand.
And exactly, we want you to pick some of that up too. Besides going up to the winery to get it, where can you find your wines?
We're in stores everywhere, all throughout the Fox Valley, Green Bay, Fox Valley area. Nice and easy, liquor stores, grocery stores, wherever you like wine to be, it's going to be there. So we're going to whisk it, get it good and get that brown sugar suspended in the wine.
What is it? 4 ingredients: Worcestershire sauce, a brown sugar, the wine. 3 ingredients. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it's nice and suspended, and at that point we're going to take our bag and our tongs, get the meat in.
Yep. This is, and we took pork tenderloin, we put it in pieces. You could certainly do it whole if you want.
About an inch and a half thick is perfect because we're going to just saute it.
You know, a lot of times I will do it whole, but you're right. The marinade's really going to get in here if we do it in chunks like this, and this is going to cook much quicker than just doing the whole tenderloin. So,
exactly.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is just add the marinade to it. And what we want to do is be able to get this marinade in for a minimum of 8 hours, preferably overnight. So if you're doing your food prep the night before, this obviously it only takes us about 2 minutes to do. Get it in, get all the air out of the bag, and then get it really well mixed in. The next morning or before you go to bed, mix it up again. Just make sure that marinade gets right in there. So what we have now is the one from last night that Lindsay and I did.
Heat it up a little olive oil.
Nice hot pan.
Yep.
We're going to do each side for about 2 minutes and then reduce heat and let it simmer for about another 5 minutes. We don't want to overcook it and get that rubberiness, but at the same time, we need it cooked all the way through.
Yeah.
So
145 is the internal temperature for pork these days. You don't have to cook it forever and a day. The reason I'm not putting the pork in yet is because I want that the pan to be smoking hot. So what I like to do is take one piece and kind of test it. That's the sound we want. If you don't get that sound.
And don't be afraid to let it brown on each side. It seals in a lot of the juices.
And you notice too how I'm putting the pork not right next to each other. I'm kind of placing it few inches apart. That way it's going to give it some nice color, and it's not going to hang out and get, like, you don't want that gray. You want it nice and brown.
Yeah, nice brown to it.
And just turn the exhaust fan on, and that's another thing that you want to do. Maybe open a window for a minute.
Yeah, and then a little salt and pepper to taste.
But the marinade really has got, that's where the flavor.
That's where all the flavor really is. And like you were saying, pork can need a little extra sometimes. And then sometimes we'll throw the sprigs of rosemary in with it. Let them just saute in there.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've got some fresh rosemary. So this is a really simple. I love rosemary. It's a really nice fall thing. Do you chop it or you just throw the leaves
I just throw it right in. I'll peel it and throw it in, and let it do its magic.
Okay, what we're going to do is let this hang out for just a little bit, and we'll plate it, flip it over.
Flip it after about 2 minutes and see that nice brown.
Yeah, that's
oh,
the
that's
color.
going to be good.
Yeah.
Now that's sealing all the juices in.
Ooh,
So
looks so good. Well, let this cook. Joe's going to stick around and do a nice pear punch for fall with a little bit of wine in it coming up. So stay with us. We'll be back.